And welcome, folks. It's match time. Both teams have readied up. Pain versus Gaimin Gladiators. Map number 1 is Inferno. Map number 2 is, of course, Dust 2. And map number 3 is Nuke I Am Boggs, joined by Pineapple Phillips. And we have ourselves some Wednesday night ECL coming right at you. Gaimin Gladiators on the T side, Pain on the CT side. And Pain are stacking 3 towards the B site here. We do have or at least I have a rogue number on my mini-map. But opening kills could go the way of Big as B will kind of just goes in a little dry. That flash doesn't do anything. And 2 picks for the price of 1 already for Pain Gaming. Cynic trades 1 back, but it's a very solid start here for the CT side.
We mentioned Big Uzero as a player to watch, and he just plays it all by his lonesome. He had a little bit of support in terms of utility, but for the most part, he took both those duels with ease, finding the kills with no damage taken in return. His teammate did fall on the swing. And of course, Big Uzero was full blind, so he couldn't assist, but still a very solid opening to find. And a good position now for Pain Gaming. Jump into the pit. Even trades thus far for Gaimin Gladiators, but George, he finds a second in the pit, trades out his teammate, and now secures the site. Plant will go down, and we're back to even footing. A 2 versus 2, but there's a kit in play for PKL.
And he's already in library, too. They're both collapsing from the Moto side. It's a split here from the Gaimin Gladiators. George is on towards site and balcony area, mini pit. And you got Cynic out in middle. They can finish off the mini pit player first. They can win this one. But they have to win that duel. Nice shots from PKL, but he's down low. They do not know that Cynic's coming up the lane side. Now he's peeked out. PKL backs away. Big Azetta keeping an eye on things. Somebody's got to stick the bomb soon enough. They're going to swing. They're going to peek. Big Azetta holding, just trying to buy enough time for the defuse to come through. There it comes. And it will be pistol round the way of Pain Gaming. And they will not fall to Cynic in the end either. Good strong pistol round coming in from the Brazilian squad, but Gaimin Gladiators getting the bomb down means they can force up quite well. Although, last week against ATK, they really didn't buy up too much. They were very conservative with their money on these second rounds, and that's exactly what they're going to do again. Just Tech 9s, P250, some utility, and an incredibly minimal buy up from a team in a meta where buying up second round is almost exactly the norm, and they're going to run into their doom. PKL sprays away, unable to get 2, only 1 so far. Big U swings, but up close, there's the Tech 9 in his power. 1's already from behind as well as PKL, and that's the second. He gets mowed down, glocked in the back, and now this will spur them on forward. Carson on site, George as well, and George Lowe gets mowed down. Last alive is Carson, stuck like a rat in a trap. Nowhere for him to get out, but he actually will fight his way forward for 1 more. Great economic damage at the very least done for the Gaimin Gladiators.
Lots of damage done. There were 3 rifles in this round, and in fact now only 2 can be recovered, assuming they take Carson down with no more casualties. The MP9 takes the duel. It will find it. Hards out finishes the round as expected in the favor of Pain Gaming, but still, as you mentioned, a lot of damage done. Only 2 of those 3 M4s now carried over into the 3rd round, and Gaimin Gladiators, that was a save from them. They just bought a couple pistols, some nades, and ran it down B to do the damage, and they have succeeded in that respect.
Yeah, they did a good job of doing the damage there. As you can see, the money on Pain Gaming is absolutely nothing. It's a reset round for both these sides. A key swing round, round number 3 of the game. They will buy up a couple more M4s around that, and PKL will sit on the MP9. It's overall not a bad buy. The nade onto Cynic, so much damage. We'll see if he gets chunked down even more. He'll stay alive for now. Cars gets chipped away at, but no significant damage being dealt aside from that early chunk onto Cynic, who's down in the red at 10 HP. Nithon's playing towards Arches, Hardzao, towards lane, towards Porch push. They could go for a flash if Nikes has it prepped. Be a good flash into brackets to retake control of that position. It's going to be Nithon to flash out first, and actually just kind of set back and let Gaimin Gladiators sweat a little bit, although Pain are starting to sweat a little bit too. No more Molotovs, a couple of smokes and flashes, all they have for util. Gaimin Gladiators burning down the clock and their utility as well, still bottom mid, unable to decide where they want to go.
They do still have the 2 requisite smokes for an executive needed, a flash as well to pop into a site, so they have what they need, but they don't have much else to delay afterwards, so utility really beginning to become a factor here. Looks like Gaimin Gladiators are deciding to potentially go towards B. Bomb has been recovered, only 30 seconds left though, and only 2 players grouped up as well. coupled with the push from PKL, means that this is going to get awkward fast. It's going to be a B split. I think Gaming Gladiators have finally decided what they want to do, but again, time is just ticking away. Pain Gaming, they're using their utility incredibly well. Smoke will go down, and the push will slowly come through. Carson takes the duel towards the library. A good solid start finding a pick. Cynic a second. Now the collapse will come in towards the site, but Bigozera lines up two. That's
time.
2 players on the flank going down. The bomb is going to get planted in the nick of time, and Jazzpimp spams away one through the smoke. Time was a factor there, but they do get it down in the nick of time. It's now a 2 versus 3, a difficult retake ahead of them towards the banana here for Pain Gaming.
It's going to be a very difficult retake here for Pain, and if they're able to manage it, then they will be able to grow their lead. Without it, it gives Gaimin Gladiators a very good early round, something to grow off of, and Pain don't even want anything to do with this retake, Nate. They know their economic situation is very poor, and they are going to elect for the save. Gaimin Gladiators striking early and striking hard. That was a very late hit. That was a very risky play, but sometimes you have to take risks, and it works out very well for the Gaimin Gladiators. Great work by Carson there, getting that entry out towards Library, and then Jazzpimp opening up that B site too. Solid work overall from the Gaimin Gladiators. Their first round on the board. They still got plenty of money to reinvest as well. One could drop an AK over to Cynic, who was a bit broke. It'll probably be Jazzpimp or someone along those lines. It'll be Carson to drop over the AK. Pain will buy up around their M4s, an MP9, a Tech 9, and a 5.7. Decent amount of utility considering their lack of overall funds to invest with. But it still does give Gaimin Gladiators an advantage here. Something to try and tie things up with very early on. We talked about it in the pre-show, how critical that CT economy is on this map in particular. And Gaimin Gladiators already knocking on the door of completely collapsing it and trying to get an early lead.
And the op, again, another big factor we mentioned before. If you don't have the economy, you definitely don't have the op in hand. Nice boost coming in towards the port side, yields an opening. That gives the first, Hard Zao is second. They both fall away. George will get a parting gift onto one, but still the advantage remains with Pain Gaming. Very well done on the stack there. The nade as well, perfectly thrown onto George. The tag as well puts him down to a paltry 6. Pain Gaming coming out of the opening duels with a massive advantage. Rifles being dropped to the teammates as well from Pain Gaming. They don't want to let any of these weapons go to waste, and they're in a very solid spot now. However, Gaimin Gladiators are making a good read. They're quickly rotating towards B. There's only one defender here. It's Bigozera, the heavy hitter, but he only has an MP9 in hand, and he has no utility left to work with.
He's trying to smoke criminal this one, and so are the Gaimin Gladiators. Now Big U falls back towards site, retreating to a more passive and defensible position. He'll sit behind the coffin. Surely he gets spammed or peeked. He's still going to catch the drop on Cynic, dink him down, unable to finish the job. PKL coming in on a fast flank, going to get met by George, who's low HP. The Tech 9 headshot comes in as overkill. PKL now swings in for an AK. They still have Nithon and Nekis to deal with as well. One rotating in from Church already there. PKL pushes, has distraction help, and it's all down to two Carson stuck in towards New Box. PKL sprays, he'll take them both. And it will be a round 1 for Pain. That's a great strike back. It's not going to be great for Pain's overall money. They're still going to be pretty broke, and Gaimin Gladiators with the bomb plant are still going to be able to invest decently into this next round. But keeping ahead of Gaimin Gladiators in the early going is very critical for Pain. They cannot let Gaimin Gladiators into this map early on. Because if they do, then Gaimin Gladiators get their map, and they get confidence, and they get rolling. And it's a hard team to stop when they get rolling.
They are a team that's very much boosted and bolstered by that confidence. So yeah, as you mentioned, stymieing that early while they can is critical, I'd say, on a map such as Inferno. Pain Gaming starting things off well. Again, they shimmied those rifles around between players. It made it look incredibly good for them at the end. They had, all three had rifles in the retake. Pain Gaming just min-maxing as best they can and making it look incredibly good there. Gaimin Gladiators, though, another buy, as you mentioned. It's a little bit scrappy, but it could still get the job done. But Hard's out, peeking in towards the middle, catches Jazzpimp for nothing. He's all by his lonesome, and that's another early advantage for Pain Gaming.
Make it a double advantage as the nade touches down onto Carson, who's now without his wings. Gaimin Gladiators hemorrhaging players in the early going. And Pain just slowly chipping away at them one by one, methodically picking them up. And I think Big U might have just got a glimpse of one of those two players pushing up towards Banana. They fall back on towards site. Cynic and B-Wills clear up towards the B site. George left to lurk out. Cynic takes some damage, swings out, and mows down Big U. That's a big peek, and he knows there's players coming in Speedway, too. He hears them running, stomping around, making all the noise in the world, and he's evened this up to a 3v3, and considering the health, too, it's almost dead even. Did hear a reload in towards Church, but here comes the alert from George. He picks up the A player of Hardzao, and now it's a man advantage, back the way of the Gaimin Gladiators, and Necky's stuck in rotation. PKO with a big kill, though. That makes us a lot more viable. George coming through Banana, he is low. And if this player on site falls, if BULs falls, this can be the defuse, but they don't know where George is. They don't know how far away he is. Flashbang goes out time. Not quite a factor just yet. PKL incredibly low. Nekius and PKL debating whether or not to swing, whether or not to push. And it will be the nade to touch down onto George. Another nade kill for Pain Gaming, and another scrappy win for them. It's been close again. It has not been consistent, but it is getting rounds on the board. The problem is, another bomb plant from Gaimin Gladiators means at the very least they can get a half buy out of this one. And an op comes out for Nithon too. Pain starting to invest a little more heavily. We'll see if this pays off or if the Gaimin Gladiators can close the gap with pistols and a hero rifle from Carson, surprisingly.
It's a rather risky play, a risky endeavor to invest into that op, but I like the idea. Nithon's been struggling thus far in this matchup. He's yet to find a kill. Enabling him with that op could be exactly what the team needs to make these rounds more clean. It could help bolster the economy in the long run, and I'm very excited to see what he can do here towards the arch with that op, especially with Carson challenging with his rifle. Let's the Euro rifle drop the right off the rip. A very solid start, and again, it's another advantage for Pain Gaming.
Pain consistently getting these early picks, and it almost seems like they want some revenge for that loss they suffered earlier on or last month, I should say. It's another pick, this time from Niki's blind, and in smoke kind of gets the run in. Drops the smoke. Hardzao already on the flank for the lane players. Nithon with one. Hardzao with the last two. Easy peasy, flawless victory there for Pain Gaming. And that's more or less the Pain Gaming that we've come to expect and come to love here in North American ECL. Get to see that level of play on a weekly basis. It's always fun. Gaimin Gladiators, where's your timeout going to come through? Surely it comes in soon because you guys have found no answer. Yes, you've been getting some bomb plants, but everything they've done has been completely answered back and thrown back at them by Pain. And now the Brazilian squad is getting that confidence on the CT side to take those tactical aggressive peaks, get those early advantages, and then back away after gaining those. Big U does eat a nade towards Banana, but that's not going to deter a double swing down and some damage in return onto Carson. And look at PKL, too, all the way down towards Logs, continuing to tuck in towards Mail, aggressing further and further down Car and Banana. A very aggressive stance here from Pain just goes to show how much confidence they are feeling. And they don't even care about the utility. PKL not really blind much by that. Here's him coming in, mows down one, goes for a spray. Could even swap for more ammo after this one. They know where he is, and Big U gets taken down a little bit more. He's lucky to be alive at this point, and there's been no counter from the A site either. Pain electing to just let PKL sit and marinate in towards Mailbox and maybe, just maybe, find something.
Seems like they've been enabled by that flawless round in the round prior. Pain Gaming taking a couple more risks. Again, the nade damage has been quite good. PKL throwing a late one, finds some good damage there onto Cynic. The advantage still sits with Pain Gaming, and time is beginning to become a factor. 40 seconds left. The bomb still doesn't have a clear direction. It looks like they do want to go towards B, but still a player lurking around top Banana. That's PKL, and the second player is in quick rotation as well in Big Uzera. The play will come through. Carson, though, swinging all by his lonesome, hopes to catch PKL, but no. Big Uzera's already posted and ready. Hardzao is now here to support. The cavalry has arrived, and they're ready to shut this take down. Cynic does find one, but the trade comes through immediately. It's just Jazz Pimp all the way back towards T Stairs. With 12 seconds, he's obviously going to save for the next round. This AK will be brought in, but still, Pain Gaming, they've gotten that up in hand, and they've suddenly looked like a new team. All of these rounds have been consistent and, more importantly, clean.
That is the very important factor, isn't it, Nate? Where how it's been very, very clean for Pain. And it was not that way early on. It was very close, very scrappy for the first 4 or 5 rounds, but in the last few, Pain has really been able to put more clean rounds on the board, minimize their casualties, build up their own economy. And that's a very scary proposition for the side of Gaimin Gladiators. If they're unable to stop this half is going to get out of control very quickly. And bear in mind, again, this is the map pick of the Gaimin Gladiators, with Dust 2, a bastion of a map for Pain, coming up as map number 2. Things are getting quite dire for Pain, or for Gaimin Gladiators, early on, if they cannot turn this tide. And there's a good opening pick. A rifle to be picked up now for B-Wills. Jasmine already having the one save. Nithon picks up one, but B-Wills adds another to his tally. Nithon drops into pit, and he will take the op peek. Going on top of bicycle, spots out one. The nade will fly in, chunk him down by 46. Good damage there, and they will back away, leaving Cynic to work up arches. Blind side onto Big U. And look out, Cook. Yeah, never mind. PKL's got a barbecue. He's got two on a platter. And now the rotation back. Does Carson get the backstab? Yes, he does! And now they can split onto B. It's all down to Nithon. It's collapsed. And Gaimin Gladiators, a round that they should not have been favored to win. A round they are now likely to pick up.
1 versus 2 for Nithon. He has the op in hand still. At this point, he might even consider the save. It just seems so unlikely given where these players were before and where they could be. But he's going to at least attempt to do something towards the banana. No, he's going to think better of it. He's going to save the op for the following. He wasn't gifted any information, so he'll hightail it out of there. Gaimin Gladiators do get a second on the board, and it's a pretty big win as well. You mentioned things were getting a little bit dire, a little bit desperate for Gaimin Gladiators, but they win the half buy here. That gives them a massive economic boost, especially if they can find a Cynic a rifle to pick up, and that makes them a new team, a new hope going into the following rounds.
So you're saying there's another? This wasn't their only hope.
I mean, never say never. You can never truly guess that Dust 2 will go the way of Gaimin Gladiators. You might, or Pain Gaming, excuse me. You could expect it, and you should expect it if you look at stats, but who knows? Could be something new, something crafty. Either way, match has been paused. I'm assuming by the side of Pain Gaming.
It's a Gaimin Gladiators timeout.
Is it a Gaimin Gladiators timeout? So maybe
Yeah.
they're slowing things down. They want to talk things out. They want a convincing victory here, and they are actually within a reasonable distance of resetting the economy of Pain Gaming.
Yeah, they are. And that's that damage coming back again, and the fickleness of the CT set economy as well, where it's quite literally you lose a couple of rounds and you're dead broke, and good luck, have fun against Galils, which are $1,800 M4s, Molotovs for only 400, and Tech 9s, which are run-and-gun machines. Gaimin Gladiators, though, without those kinds of pistols and sit on the full buy, Jasp up on the M4A1S. Nithon hasn't really been able to get too activated with his op either. Came into play last round with the Halls pick, but it didn't really end up getting anything else. This could be the round, though. And he'll get Jasmine walking right into his crosshair. Easy pick again. First pick going the way of Pain Gaming. But brackets control has been taken by the Gaimin Gladiators, and they are starting to put a little more pressure towards B now, following off of that brackets control after forcing Pain back and away. Still, Big Uzetta jump spotting out. Here's the shots, peeks forward, and holds the line. Gets 1.5 kills for his trouble out towards Carr. That's not too shabby at all. PKL swinging as well, blind spraying through, grabs another one, sprays forward, swaps to the USP, but George has him dead to rights. 2v3. Gaimin Gladiators looking for the plant, and in the smoke, there is a criminal. Wilhard's out, strike, no. Cynic holds the line, he was ready for it. It's going to be a pincer maneuver retake, one through Church and one through Banana. Pain Gaming have the op of Nithon coming in through Church. This is a difficult position to make this work.
Very difficult. The op, just in general, in a retake, can struggle. So he's going to have to be very delicate here on his retake. Neki's luckily spots the flank there, so Nithon could potentially find that player. George, though, is not going to overextend. He's looking for the rifle here. He does find it. That's the first. Now Nithon stuck in the op towards construction. Not much chance at this point. He should try to find a kill and get out, but no, the shot doesn't land. He'll pull out the pistol in desperation, but George just keeps him locked in. The round will go the way of Gaimin Gladiators, but everybody will fall with the bomb. All 10 players in the server are dispatched. And that means the Gaimin Gladiators will have to invest a pretty penny to reinvest into this round.
Yeah, they're going to have to buy up pretty heavily here to be able to get full guns. Utility might be a little sparing as well, as a Galil gets picked up and an AK gets tossed around. Pain Gaming buying back into this one to the end of their bank accounts. A couple MP9s, 3 M4s, a distinct lack of utility, and also never more worrying lack of a defuse kit, given how many times the Gaimin Gladiators have got the bomb to pay dirt so far. Jazzpimp, a very aggressive jump already into halls, and it's going to be Carson with a double entry up B. There's still one more. Will they expect Nithon back site? They seem to be still smoking and doing their due diligence, although they double smoke in towards CT spawn. Nithon sprays away, does have one, but he has to hold the line for a couple of more, and he doesn't have his trusty AWP. Still finds a second before he's flushed out of position, burned into the crosshair, and Nikis will go forward and eliminate Jazzpimp, picking up an AK in the process. 2v2 retake onto the B side again for Pain if they so desire. This time both coming from the same direction through CT spawn, and a free kill for Hardzao, spamming through, no tracers, no position revealed, leaving it all down to B-Wills now. Nikis is lit, and he's going to take the fight. He takes down the low HP player first, goes for more, and has to go for the Glock, but it will be Hardzao to clutch up. But another round where Pain lose a considerable amount of members, 4 out of 5 dead and in the ground. They're going to have to struggle to buy up again the bomb plant, giving more light to the Gaimin Gladiators. But 7 on the board already for Pain. 1 more away from 8, 2 away from the all-important 9. Still, this round is going to be a stronger buy for the Gaimin Gladiators than the one prior.
A very solid buy. Again, the constant here has been Gaimin Gladiators, making these rounds close, and also getting the bomb plant that really enables them to go for buy after buy and makes this T-side relentless regardless of win or loss. Mac 10 for Jazzpimp and Galil for B-Wills, but everybody else... Actually, there's another Galil on George as well, but 2 AKs still pretty good, along with a lot of utility important to note for the take, and Cynic, no fear whatsoever, the hero up middle. He'll find an opening onto Nithon. That is a very solid start here for Gaimin Gladiators.
It's their first opening pick in a while, and we'll see if they can work off of it. It's not deterring Big Azetta from continuing to peek down Banana, to continuing to take these aggressive angles, the info peaks. And that's something that you'll see a lot of teams fall into a trap of playing very ultra passive on this map. And Pain, no, they don't need to fall into that trap. They know they can take the fights individually, although Jaspimp's upgraded and gets the timing onto Hardzao. Double man advantage now for Gaimin Gladiators, and make it a triple man advantage as Big U falls out pillar. George, the one to put him down. Bomb down to the ground. It'll lurk still out towards A to try and find PKL and Nikis and not allow them to save. A hunt coming in from B-Wills as well. Gaimin Gladiators are looking for the kill. Caesars put thumbs down. And Pain Gaming are their opponents. Stuck out towards brackets. Free headshot for B-Wills. Last man standing, PKL. They're all swarming in. He'll swing wide, and a flawless win this time for the Gaimin Gladiators on the T side.
Voracious on the hunt. Gaimin Gladiators wanted to give nothing to the likes of Pain Gaming, and they did exactly that. They hunted them down towards the arch side. Very well done from them. Very well read of the situation, and very well done finding the openings. A lot of those were just simple one-on-one duels that were won cleanly. Gaimin Gladiators find their stride. They show us some individual prowess, and they've now reset Pain Gaming as well. It's just pistols for the CT side. 3 Deagles and 2 P250s are a scary prospect on a map like Inferno, but it should be manageable for the rifles of Gaimin Gladiators.
That's a nice shot by Jazzpimp. Might have got a little bit of CSGO luck on his side there too. But either way, opening pick goes the way of the Gaimin Gladiators, who are now really coming alive in this half. They've got their wheels turning. They've got their momentum. And now they've got Pain Gaimin on a bit of the ropes here as they look to add a 5th on the board before Pain will actually, with the full investment here from Pain, the force up, this could be a 7-6 scoreline before Pain get guns in their hands again, depending on the results here. Cynic doing a little more damage. Library is smoked. Arch will get smoked as well. The nade does not do as much as they would have hoped. A little bit of team damage and a little more dealt onto PKL. On side, Nekis will hold the Deagle. Takes a shot, but it goes astray. B-Wills, however, will hit his mark out in apartments. Carson, or rather, Nithon gets taken down. Big U falls to George, and PKL, the last one standing, will just run back towards B, save the armor if he can. And there's no real reason for Gaimin Gladiators to hunt the pistol. They are going for a little bit of probing, though. This could cost them a gun if they're not careful. And how many times have you seen a gun fall and then be used to great success the round after? It happens too many times to count, and the Gaimin Gladiators are still hunting for this one. They have the right idea. They're flashing in, using utility, but this is what I'm talking about. The pistol up close into a rifle, and this is why you don't hunt pistols. Case in point, Exhibit A.
Up the food chain. 2 kills for the pistol, one more for the rifle in the even duel, if you want to call it that. It was just George in the 1v1. PKL on a sliver of HP, but he'll suddenly get to bring a hero rifle and Kevlar into this next round, and it should be a save for Pain Gaming. So this is a big opportunity for them to do some more economic damage on this save round. They can juggle that rifle around like they've done before in rounds prior. We remember it was like a half buy or some SMGs, and they juggled the rifle around to great effect. If they can do that again here with the hero rifle and PKL, they have a shot. A very slim shot, but nevertheless an opportunity to find something.
Nate, I just realized PKL is sitting at 17-7.
Is he?
The in-game leader for Pain Gaming is 17-7. He's having a monster. They know the boost is there too. They've seen the shadow. They haven't finished off the boost, and they're wisely of. Why is the bomb pushing the boost? Somebody else push the boost, please. Thank you, Gaimin Gladiators. I don't think Beewles knew he had the bomb there. He was the one still going for it. Carson, in the meantime, is going to finish off Hardzao. But Beewles almost lost the bomb by continuing to aggress against the boost there with the objective on his back. Now, damage coming through. Nithon with one. Jazz Pimp mops up the mess there. Has a couple more players potentially to finish off as a P2000 in the hands of Biggie Zeta. Will continue to peek out towards Porch. There comes the combo peek. PKL doing the bulk of the damage. Big U just getting the finisher. Big U falls, but there comes PKL for another, getting himself an 18th on the board. Gaimin Gladiators, though, don't have anybody over 10 kills yet, Nate, and they're within one round of this Pain Gaming side. That is efficiency in round victories personified.
Lots of efficiency. They have had some signs of individual prowess. We've mentioned it before, especially on the clean round victories, but still, as you mentioned, no one's a shining star on the squad. Everybody's in the trenches. Everybody's doing the heavy lifting, and props to them for bringing it to 6-7. Everybody doing their part. They're looking like a well-oiled machine when they find victories, to be fair.
Yeah, they are, and they're starting to really find their form, too. And after that timeout, Pain Gaming have only won one round versus 4 to Gaimin Gladiators. And since that timeout, Gaimin Gladiators have looked a lot more comfortable. Whatever Semphis said to them seems to have been working. This comes a critical gun round now where Pain Gaming could potentially lose this half if the Gaimin Gladiators are able to strike here and take it. Opening flashes do the deed. Beebles with the entry. They know there's one more. Jazz Pimp will help him out, and they both survive while Jazz Pimp is on the red. 7 HP. Big U comes through on Cold Box. Sprays down one. Mowed down, but does grab another before he falls. Maybe a third. Perhaps he's got help now. He has gone down, but Hardzao now very low. So is PKL. 35 and 32 HP respectively. 2v2, bomb not yet planted, and it will be planted safe on site. Neither player on Gaimin Gladiators willing to try and get off of it either, as they are both low on health as well. 31, 54, 56 HP. It's all coming down to timing. Carson aggresses. Great headshot there. All down to PKL. Now he's the hero. He has to lead by example for his squad. Bullets flying by, Sin keeping the ranging shots, keeping him honest, keeping him from peeking. And Carson, perfect crosshair placement, chimes in again. And the man with the highest impact rating on his squad chimes in for a couple more massive kills. And we're all tied up now, 7-all. And Gaimin Gladiators are putting something into play that they have not used the entire half so far, and rarely ever use on T-sides in general. Cynic has purchased the op.
Nithon also does have the op. We've seen it before, though, on this map. Not as noteworthy, but still, it could be important. Again, he looks stellar when he has the op in hand. And, whoop, there goes the op of Cynic. A nice peek in middle, a little bit delayed with the flash coming in from Nithon. Very well done to find that opening. The MP9, though, doesn't have as easy a time in the apartments. Just being spammed away down to 30. George flashed in by his teammate as well. Finds a trade back to even footing. Hardzao, though, in the meanwhile, does find an upgrade for one of his rifles. George, though, a menace coming out of the boiler, finds a second. It's now Hardzao stuck in towards Spit to do it all. He'll find one, but he needs to find more, and he only has 33 HP to do so. He won't find anything. B. Wilf finds that kill in turn, trades it out, and maintains an advantage for Gaimin Gladiators going into the post play.
Big U already tagged down. PKL coming in as well, coming in through apartments. Jasper's on the angle. The crouch will not throw him off, and his spray will convert, leaving it all down to Big Zeta. The big man on campus for Pain Gaming, taking more damage as the spray continues. Beewles reloads. Carson above the smoke should be able to spot him out. Does indeed, and finishes the job. Gaimin Gladiators come back with massive skill and take the lead going into half number 2.
let you double cross them. Moving through the city like it's Gotham. They told me get one, so I got one. Stop saying you're a boss when you not one. You ain't sacrificed, nah, you ain't lost none. All over the gram like you got a bag. You ain't big dog, we ain't hear none of that. I'm in the gym looking like a running back. And you know the flow, got 'em coming back. Who I was in the past, I'm unattached. Only focus in this moment is bringing the summer back. Oh, respect my grind, elevate souls and I spread good vibes. Young divine, you know I gotta shine. Raise your hands for a good time. Aight.
Vibe until the morning, sleep until the noon. You said that you want it, so I got it for you. Let's all get together and show them how we move. We move, we move.
3, 2,
Bringing
1,
summer to
drop.
you.
Oh, ready, let's go. 'Cause you know how we roll. Let's take it round the world and back again. Ready, let's go. 'Cause you know, like I know, we'll take it round and round. Yo, hold up, let me switch my flow up. Back in high school, they were telling me I'll blow up. Doing talent shows and man, everyone would show up. Got in an accident and still made it for them to go nuts. You know what? I'm so what? I'm so That means I can't describe the way I vibe, the way I slide. And with the rhymes that make the dimes, I'll close their eyes and fantasize. I'm divine calling their phone number. Yeah. No, you know I love you. And you know me, I can't sleep without blazing beats on stages for their ones gracefully. And I got a smile that they hate to see. Young, black, successful, though life gets stressful. Though life gets stressful, go and vibe out with whoever you next to.
Vibe until the morning, sleep until the noon.
And we return to map number 1. I'm Bugs, joined by Pineapple Phillips, and you're watching Gaimin Gladiators versus Pain Gaming. Gaimin Gladiators with a solid show of skill come up here and make this half theirs after turning things around from a 6-2 deficit. Now they go on to the CT side, their favorite side, so we'll see if there's anything they can do here to really continue to grow that lead. I mean, Nate, if Pain Gaming don't win this pistol round, it sets Gaimin Gladiators up for a nice little run there, but that's a good start from PKL, who is far and away the best performer right now for the Brazilian squad.
It'd be mentioned at the IGL putting up heavy numbers. Again, I think it was mainly to do with the Gaimin Gladiators' preference to go towards A, at least in the early goings. That kind of left Big Uzera high and dry towards top banana, but eventually they figured out they rotated him around towards the later stages of that first half, but it was, in my opinion, too little too late. Either way, still far from over. Still a respectable 7-8 half. It could easily be tied up with a pistol round victory here. It looks like Pain Gaming have a strategy in mind. It's going to be an A play through the apartments. They'll jump out. There are 2 players in the pit trying to do something, but the USPs up close and personal just can't compete with the Glocks. It's Nithon and Nekis to find 1 apiece. 2 clean kills. PKL a third of the IGL continuing to put up numbers. B-Wills will at long last find a trade, but still it's a near impossible 2 versus 4 going into a retake.
Yeah, this is a very strong pistol round for Pain Gaming, and they'll make it even stronger as B-Wills hits the dirt. Carson saving. Guess doesn't want to have to reinvest armor. Could upgrade to a much better gun in the next round with that save, so I guess no real reason to go for it in a 1v4 on pistol, and he might even get taken out here. There's a bit of a hunt coming through. Ardzao just around the corner, taking him down. 8-8 the score, and that's a furious response from Pain Gaming. They don't want to let Gaimin Gladiators grow any bit of a lead. It's the first time Pain have trailed. It doesn't last for long. Now, will Gaimin Gladiators force? Yes, they will. Deagle, 5.7 on a lot of people, and a P250 for B-Wills with a considerable amount of utility. With a 5.7 up close and personal, that's a deadly gun. Pain Gaming have to be very careful with their clears, especially seeing as they have some MAC 10s in play. 5.7 headshot could definitely ruin the day of a couple of their players. Jaspim going in, gets the drop on 1 and does finish the job. George has Big Uzera as well, and this is what I'm talking about, the 5.7 so strong. A couple more out towards Banana. The nade should do some decent damage. No, it does not actually do any damage. That one will, though, unless they back out away. Hardzao will dodge the nade damage, and Carson will go 0 for 2 on the nades, doing much. But still, the double man advantage here for Gaimin Gladiators. This force buy has already drawn some blood.
Secured, honestly, an advantage, I would say, at this point. 5 versus 3, the manpower combined with just the close range angles, I would say gives Gaimin Gladiators a slight edge in this round, despite the fact they're still lacking in terms of riflery. Hardzao and Nithon have their work cut out for them here. PKL on the Mac-10 as well. Could find a lot of damage, especially against those players without helmets. Talking about Cynic, Carson, and B-Wills, but still, it's going to be a difficult one. 40 seconds left. They will migrate over towards A. It looks like Gaimin Gladiators do have the correct read here. Cynic will rotate around, but for the time being, there are only 2 players here. They have Mac-10s, but they are somewhat lacking in the HP department on at least one of these players.
Well, now it's a 5v2, and Cynic's got the Deagle chipping away at that HP of Hardzao down to none. And PKL might have the most on the server, but he does not have more than 1 this time. It's a pistol force buy victory for the Gaimin Gladiators. And this is why the force buy is so often used in the current meta of the game, because it's so effective. Gaimin Gladiators strike right back. Pain are going to have to force buy into this one now. PKL will have a Galil, 3 Deagles, a Tech 9, and 3 pieces of utility, 2 smokes and a flashbang. That is not a lot to work with at all for Pain. And a bit concerning as well. Nade will go out and do just a little bit onto Nikes, 12 to be exact. The AK picked up, a couple of M4s purchased up by the Gaimin Gladiators. They are set and ready to rumble. This is a strong look coming in from the Gaimin Gladiators as they've recovered on their map pick. Dust 2 still waiting in the wings as map number 2, though. A bit of a cloud over the mind of a Gaimin Gladiators player or fan is map number 2. No early picks so far. Time ticking down, about a $1:12 on the clock, and nobody's even really done any damage aside from that nade out of all.
I have noticed as well, Gaimin Gladiators, they aren't doing quite as much utility damage, but their flash usage is still exemplary, as are their smokes. We'll have to see that nade damage comes into effect later on in the game, but for the time being, it's just an interesting thing that I've noticed. It's going to be Pain Gaming now at last, grouping up towards A, towards the brackets, just tepidly peeking in, looking towards the archway, but no one's coming into the duel. At long last, Cynic will go for the peek and win the opening against PKL. Galil now on Hardzao, but the flash for Jazz Pimp to peek in towards the truck side finds him another. B-Will's a 3rd on the Mac-10, and it's just the collapse of the remaining T-side players. They were hoping to find something with the force buy in towards the brackets, but no. Gaimin Gladiators coyly peek the angles and find just clean duels there. A clean victory, all 5 remain alive, and they extend their lead to 2 now.
Yeah, the Gaimin Gladiators now with a very good chance to make this one a 3-round lead, grab an 11th, as Payton Gaming are going to have Glocks. And only Glocks. Not even a piece of utility purchased up. Not even a decoy grenade. Just only Glocks. They'll go for a little bit of a boost. The cheeky boost over the door will actually net a kill for PKL. And that's a kill that Gaimin Gladiators don't necessarily need to surrender either. Aggressively peeking into alt mid without utility against pistols. That's the problem with an aggressive stance like that against a pistol buy. You can get caught off guard by them. And Pain Gaming had a bit of a plan to bring the pain. George going to regret that peak for sure. The very least regret not having called for a flashbang from a teammate. Still though, the buy is in the favor of Gaimin Gladiators. And the only thing they lost was an MP9. There is that threat. There is always that threat that the pistols can find a way.
There is an ever-looming threat, especially on Inferno. The MP9, I'm surprised he went for a peek down alt middle with the MP9. Perhaps he was looking for some players rushing up. But, you know, that's kind of the mentality when it's a bonus round. You want to harvest the cash on the SMG when you can. Again, they're a team that plays with momentum, as we've seen throughout that first half. So momentum just told him to go for it. I respect the idea if it doesn't work. Now things are concerning, though. The nade drops the one in pit. It's now the player backside and Carson to try and hold things down. He does have support from Cynic, but the trades come through, and now it's just the B-Wills racing up middle in the 1v2. He has a Galil in hand, but he has the M4 of Big Uzera to contest. And this just makes the round all the more interesting for Pain.
They lost to Glocks.
They did lose to Glocks.
Only
it was a full save.
Glocks.
Not a dime invested. I totally forgot about that. I thought maybe there was a nade or two. There was a nade that was used to kill one, but it was recovered, I believe, from George's body.
Yeah, it was.
So I thought personally the MP9 would not have that much effect, but the nade is what really started that off.
Yeah, it was the nade onto the player dinked in pit, and then they scaled onto sight and overwhelmed. That is why you can never count out the pistols. And that is also why you should never give up on a round, even if you have a 0.01% chance to win it. Because sometimes it works.
It's two interesting plays we've seen from Gaimin Gladiators. The first was that MP9 peek into the apartments, or the second one, excuse me, the one we just watched, the peek into the apartments that cascaded into a Glock victory. And the other one, of course, was the hunting of the pistol in the first half that led to a 1v1 and a hero rifle in the following round. George, though, not letting the MP9 loss earlier dissuade him. He'll go for the peek in towards the boiler. He'll go 1 for 1. Some good damage done as well by the likes of Gaimin Gladiators here on this force. And in fact, they do find the advantage. The MP9's putting in the work up close and personal in the off angles. 3 versus 4 as the remaining Pain Gaming players will look towards A, but there are 2 players here. One trapped behind the smoke and one with the UMP on site. Jazz Pimp, that player with UMP, finds one. Cynic pressing the smoke, fearlessly finds the second, and that just leaves Hard Zhao in the 1v4 on low HP. It's just not possible. Cynic finishes off that player, and Gaimin Gladiators immediately answer back with a convincing victory.
That's a very strong response from Gaimin Gladiators, and that means a lot, because they lost to Glocks. They didn't need another timeout or anything to mentally reset. They go right back at it, and they win a bye where they're a little bit at the disadvantage, and they made it work. They keep their lead, they grow it a little bit again, and they put Pain Gaming onto a force bye this time. That's a great response from Gaimin Gladiators. Good mental fortitude from this squad. They did not get daunted by something that is incredibly tilting to the average person and to the average player. And they just keep on playing their game, taking it one round at a time. That is something to be very much commended for the Gaimin Gladiators. Let's see if they can grow even more off of this one. Tech9, Deagle, Galil, and double AKs over on the side of Pain Gaming. Lots of car control here for Pain, and this is something we've seen in contrast, how Pain were very aggressive on their banana and car control. Pain were rather aggressive overall on their map control. On CT side, Gaimin Gladiators taking a much more conservative approach to all of this. But it's worked out well for the Gaimin Gladiators so far. Aside from when they do go aggressive, then things kind of go the opposite direction. But now here comes a mowdown, and in towards Grill, it's going to be Hard Zhao who gets roasted. B-Wills will trade it back, and Big who spots out Carson. Ooh. And through the smoke, it's the head of Cynic. That's a nice spray and a better pick. Bomb can go down, and a 3v2 hold onto the B site. Rotations coming in. Molotovs flying through, but Big U on top of first Oranges. Sprays down one more. It's all down to Jazz Pimp, but I think he's going to be the one slapped down here. PKL will finish him off. 11-10, the Gaimin Gladiators lose a big round. That gives Pain Gaming life once again. It gives them a bye once again. The same could not be said for the Gaimin Gladiators. It'll be a force up here. Some pistols, assorted rifles, and utility. But scrappy buys again from the CT side, and a timeout called by Pain Gaming at this junction. They do not want to let anything go to waste. They want to make sure they have everything talked through, everything to their advantage here. Their chance to flip this one around and go into Dust 2 with a map lead.
They know they're on the cusp of a reset. They know they're so close to breaking this economy on the Gaimin Gladiators side. They can almost taste it. But again, Gaimin Gladiators have a propensity for winning these awkward buy rounds like the MP9s, the UMP, playing angles they weren't expected to. Pain Gaming want to make sure they have all their bases covered going into this rifle buy for them. They want to make sure they have every advantage, and they want to tie things up. If they do, they have the advantage going into the late stages of this first map.
It's a very dangerous point of a map when you're both at these low or these high score lines, where a single round could make or break your chance at victory. Carson going aggressive in towards alt, spots out Nicky's, but he's not going to be able to do the damage. Just a little bit of chip. Jazz Pimp waiting for a peek as a crossfire setup. It's very hefty A play. Four of their 5 players are positioned out towards A. You have the boiler stack and then the bracket crunch. And Pain are just kind of throwing utility around the map, slowly but surely, figuring out where they sniff people out. Aid will go into that boiler stack, which had fallen down. Luckily for the Gaimin Gladiators, they abandoned that idea. The bomb's still down bottom T ramp, though, for Pain Gaming. They can go wherever they want. Left or right, up or down.
This is dangerous, though.
It is.
This is a stack. George is boosted up in flower pot as well. He's not getting roasted alive. PKL, though, will find the opening. Now it's just a stack on one side of the equation, not both. George, though, nonetheless finds one. Necky's over on a trade. Cynic in turn gets one with the Deagle. Big Uzera, though, drops Carson in the back lines, and Cynic is not long for the world in towards Boiler. It's just B Wills. He was the lone B defender you mentioned before, now in the 1 versus 3. And I have to imagine he's going to be keen on saving that M4.
Yeah, he's got to try and save the M4, surely. There's no reason for him to go for a retake here. He does not have the odds, does not have a kit, only has a nade. And the money on his team is very bad, to put it lightly. They are going to be destitute going to the next round. Pain Gaming will tie things up with a massive advantage to take a 12-11 lead. Barring, of course, a loss to pistols, which they have already inflicted on the Gaimin Gladiators and also been the victims of as well. This is just a round now for Pain Gaming to stabilize their economy. Not overextend here, Big U. Going for a bit of a hunt. If you could take the gun away, yeah, it's nice, but it's not worth throwing away. It's kind of buy for when you don't know how much you're going to have if you do lose the next round. I'll survive here. Continue moving on forward. Let's see what the buy is from Gaimin Gladiators, though. Deagle and Cynic with armor and utility. A force up looking likely across the board here as they will buy very late, and only Cynic goes for a full investment. This is a curious purchase here from Gaimin Gladiators. B Wills with the rifle already chunked down very low. It's a stack towards B this time as well, and Pain are continuing to feel around. They have to be very careful. The B site. 1 swing, 1 kill, 2 kills for B Wills as they peek him 1 by 1. And that's the problem there. They'll swing for more. And a trade on to Knife on a 4v2. And a round now potentially here for the Gaimin Gladiators. One they realistically had no shot getting anything done, but that double swing, the 1 by 1 individual peaks, give B Wills that opportunity for 2. Now there's guns donated into the hands of the Gaimin Gladiators. They might not have armor barring Cynic, but they can still hit a headshot here. And there's only 2 players left to find, Big Uzetta and Nikis. And now George is going to pick up that M4. This now becomes a very troublesome proposition for Pain Gaming to deal with.
Very troublesome indeed. These half buys, these weird ideas coming in from Gaimin Gladiators, they've found tremendous success through this half, and that might be what sends them over the edge and sends them to map 2 with an advantage. Pain re-aggressing now towards Banana. They will find one, but Nekis takes a lot of damage for it, and Carson can now just fall back into the site and play his rifle in a favorable angle. Crossfire established with George as well. Smoke will go down for the cross, but still a solid advantage for Gaimin Gladiators. Big Uzera will take point as they cross. He'll spam on the cross as well. Carson, a nice off angle, but no, he's overexposed. He'll fall to Big Uzera. Now things are tied, and Cynic doesn't have a rifle either. He'll try to swing through, try to be the hero, and he'll be dropped. Big Uzera is making this round possible. It's just George in the 1v2. He's towards construction, and they know that as well. 25 rounds left in the magazine. That's all he has to work with. He'll find the first. Big Uzera taken down, but he still has no idea where Nekis might be. He knows they could be stacked together, and he goes for the clear, but Nekis is the one to come out in the end. 12-11 Pain Gaming. The round looks so dire from the outset, yet they pull it back together and they get across the line.
It's a huge round for Pain Gaming to get across the line. It was not easy, but it does give them a lead, and it does give them a little more confidence there. That would have been a gutting round to lose for Pain if they were unable to come up with the win there. They will have the op for Nithod to work with as well moving forward. Carson juggling HEs around, looking for some banana utility exchanges going his way. Hardzow's already aggressive though, and he spots B Wills chucking a Molotov. Free opening kill the way of Hardzow. And Big Uzetta's also woken up on this T side. 1 kill behind PKL's tally. Big U clearing up through halls, looking for another victim. Might even go for the spam. No, he thinks better of the option. Looks back towards Boiler instead. And Pain are going to try and sweat Gaimin Gladiators out now that they have the man advantage. Cynic will recover the rifle at the very least. But Gaimin Gladiators, they had ground. They had gained momentum and advantages. Those advantages, the momentum, it's been sucked away. Pain Gaming have absorbed it and used it for their own rights, their own goods. Nade goes in. Doesn't go far enough at all to even tickle Big Uzetta. Still leaving Hardzow out to lurk, but PKL going forward gets caught out by Cynic, bringing it back to a level 4v4. If they wanted to commit towards the A side, that would have been trouble with the stack being there. But it's now falling off, as are Pain, rotating back towards the B side. 4 ready to go up car. Carson joined by Cynic. half HP, but he does have a nade. That's the only utility they have for this. It does a decent amount on the hard zone, a little bit of chip onto Nekiz. But this hit has to come through, and it has to be fast. It has to be well executed. The spam somehow not finding a mark. Carson had one. He spotted one, but he wasn't able to finish the job. Down goes hard down now. The spam will add more, and in comes Carson's smoke spray, trying to prevent the bomb plant. 10 seconds on the clock. Carson spraying, gets the bomb. That should be the round. Nothing Nithon can do with the opposites. Try and stay alive. He pushes in towards CT, gets one more, and will not be hunted here by Gaimin Gladiators, who do not have the money for it. But another round at a critical juncture goes the way of the Gaimin Gladiators, who always find a way to pick up a round when the going gets toughest. When it seems darkest, they turn it to dawn and give themselves new life and new motivation and new opportunity to be able to take this one. A timeout called again, this time by Pain once more. They'll figure out how they want to play this. Their money's in a bit of an awkward spot too. PKL at 1,500. What do they do here, Nate?
Their money's all over. Some players could theoretically invest into AK armor, but this would be a safe, I would say. With the op and only 1k in the bank for Nithon, though, they really need to get a bomb plant to make next round's buy okay and feasible. I'm just not sure that will happen. So it's going to be an investment for these players. 2 hero rifles coming through for Hardzao and Nekiz. The op in hand for Nithon. I want to see him used to his maximum effect. Again, the op can have tremendous effect. We talked about how he struggled, Nithon, in the early stages of that last half. He did find his footing, especially with the op. Let's see if he can do that again here on the T side.
Need to. Pain needs some new life. They need something here off the back of the timeout. Because as it stands, Gaimin Gladiators are battling back incredibly well. Big use on the Deagle. Slow and steady march up towards Car. The flash and 3 smokes, all that Pain have to work with. They'll chuck it through. B-Wills and Carson to defend. Carson's been a hard player to clear out on this B-side. Very effective at getting at least 1 kill, falling away and buying time for rotations. But then they charge. B-Will's not cleared. Hardzao goes back. The flashes blind him. It was a team flash from Carson, who now has to do it all alone. His spams have come to naught. And up on top of Dark, there was a peek. Carson spamming away, not finished off yet. Now taking some more damage. Able to reload and still stay alive. Spotted as the smoke fades. Nekiz will get him from top coffin. The rotations are here, but Pain have 5 to hold the line. Cynic, Jasper, and George with the smoke to work between them. And George even wary of a flank. Gaimin Gladiators maybe even saving here. And Cynic kind of stuck in this position. Church, nowhere for him to really escape. They're all going to abandon this site, though. They're all going to go towards Banana. That should facilitate the exit for Cynic. But it's Pain striking back off the back of a timeout. A flawless victory as well. They'll go now up to 13. It's been back and forth, though, Nate. Really has been back and forth since things were tied up at 7-all. There's been neither team that's been able to pull away from the other.
It's been back and forth in that round. I have to say, I think it was just a misplay. That's what it came down to. The team flash on the entry. The player wasn't cleared towards first oranges. Yet the full blind facilitated the recovery from that entry player. He checks his behind one more time and does indeed find the kill. Had that flash not full blinded that player, it could be a very different story here. And it's just so very unfortunate for the likes of Gaimin Gladiators. I'm assuming this is their timeout call, but it could easily be Pain Gaming talking things out after winning that stressful victory. So it is the Gaimin Gladiators timeout. It's another scrappy buy from them as well. They're not going quietly into that good night. They have an MP9 on Carson, a FAMAS on B-Wills, but everybody else, solid with M4s across the board. 2 kits, on Jazz, Pimp, and Cynic, and good utility. So even Gladiators, the buy covers all the necessary bases. The question is, can that MP9 have the impact we've seen it have throughout this half?
Play it on Balk and hope they halls pop. That's probably the best bet here for the Gaimin Gladiators, but Pain, very methodical in how they take things and how they work around. Against guns or not on this T side, they've been feeling out Gaimin Gladiators' defenses very, very consistently. Nade will go in, take B-Wills down, but George gets a blind kill into alt mid. Nekiz will be the victim of his teammate's flash, and a bit of luck going the way of George. This is where things can get a little messy now for Pain, as they're going to have to panic a little bit. They are veterans. They've made a major. They have stickers in this game. We'll see if they're going to be able to do anything more. Smoke out. Delay the time. And Gaimin Gladiators now starting to panic a little bit, rotating a bit frantically. Because of the lack of information, they've seen nothing from Pain. They're starting to get worried. Pain just slow and steady, working around. Ready to hit in towards that B site. It's been Old Faithful for them. There is the MP9 on B. It's a double stack into CT, triple if you count the rotation of Jazz Pimp. I think Pain have made the right read. They've definitely made the right call.
Yes, they have. It's a passage up towards B. They should have a relatively uncontested site take here. Unless the MP9 goes uncleared. Carson, he's not cleared. He'll find one. He'll tag a second as well. Hardzow will find the trade, but the entry into the site is not clean as a result, and Gaimin Gladiators retain an advantage going into this retake. They have some utility as well to facilitate it, whereas Pain and Gaming have nothing. They're going to have to rely on their aim alone. The op of Nithon as well being contested from the flank. This is going to be a very difficult round for Pain Gaming. Nithon, though, he does spot the shoulder and find the opening. Back to even footing. 3 versus 3, but again, no utility to stall. The retake means this is going to be a meat grinder of a round.
Here's a nice kill from Jaspin. B-Wolf swings as well. It's all down to the banana player. It's Nithon and his op, and he is low, he is lit, and he is gone. B-Will smoke spamming with the sidearm will tie things up for Gaimin Gladiators. 13 all now. And Pain Gaming again, with 1 round in front, will surrender it back and tie things up again. Gaimin Gladiators gonna try and put the end to Pain now. Either team winning this next round gets a huge advantage into the next. And Cynic's got the op. We'll see if he's going to be able to do much with it. He hasn't had too much success with the op throughout his Inferno so far today. Hasn't had it too many times either. It's full guns as well. Full rifles, AKs for Pain. Utility a little lacking, only 1 flashbang, and we have 1:33 on the clock. Lots of pressure up towards Arch. That Molotov buys a lot of time, and that nade does a lot of damage. Hardzow gets 1, but Carson sprays down 2. That's efficiency again, an impact coming in from Carson, who gets tagged a little much, and he will get finished off by PKL, trying to cross towards site. PKL comes closer, and he domes B-Wills. Big U gets tagged and finished. Jaspim sprays down a pair, looking for the last. He gets the dink. PKL finished by Jaspim, who holds the line. A massive 3K on the site, and a lead back to Gaimin Gladiators. It is their map pick, and it has been tooth and nail to be able to get any rounds on the board and to be able to get a lead for either of these two sides, but Pain Gaming cannot invest into this round. Caveat being, they won a Glock round earlier this half, but that would be lightning striking twice.
I was going to mention exactly that. Glock rounds 1. Never count Pain Gaming out, even in the most dire of circumstances. They have 3 P250s, but I can't see Gaimin Gladiators letting this one go. They've worked so hard to fully reset this economy. Pain Gaming have at long last conceded that they're going to have to play for overtime. This looks like it should be a Gaimin Gladiators round, and potentially a Gaimin Gladiators map as a result.
And the Gaimin Gladiators have given themselves the opportunity to, at the very least, get 15 first. From there, their destiny lies in their own hands. And if they're unable to get that done, it's entirely on them. Cynic, though, with the op will open things up. Hardzow, the first victim of him. Now it's a brackets push coming through here. B-Wills 1 and 2, 3, and not the 4th. Cannot get the spray tight enough with the M4A1. Nithon caught reloading. And it will be a relatively clean round for the Gaimin Gladiators. At this point, economy doesn't matter. They just need 1 round. 1 little round on the board. They have map 1.
But if they lose 2, Pain Gaming will get to overtime. It is still most certainly achievable. And given how this map has played out back and forth, I think it's all but inevitable in my mind. It feels preordained that it would go to overtime. So we'll have to see exactly what happens. Pain Gaming.
Inferno.
It is Inferno. It's a map that is notorious for those overtimes, and Pain Gaming, they have some decent utility, not a lot. No Molotovs, critically speaking, no nades. But they do have AKs, and they do, of course, have that startling amount of individual prowess to rely on.
Both these teams have a large amount of individual skill. The Gaimin Gladiators kind of a bit of pug stars. Pain Gaming, solid fraggers up and down the lineup. Nekis gets a bit of a gift there. Jazz Pimp clearing in. Cynic holding the line towards Boiler. Gets one as Jazz Pimp, or George rather, gets another. B-Wills chimes in as well. It's all collapsing. The bomb down T ramp. The B side open, but not recoverable for Pain Gaming. Nithon will retreat, try and pick up the bomb, but the rotation towards B already happening here for the Gaimin Gladiators. Carson and B-Wills back towards the site that is their home, trying to salvage this one, trying to make this one work, trying to put this map to bed and go up 1-0 in this best of 3. Both Pain players in the red as Nithon gets tagged on the cross. Bomb going down. Carson spamming, but not getting the kill. Hardzao up on top of dark boxes. Nithon in front of sight, keeping an eye on CT rotations. Hardzao looking for something, but Gaimin Gladiators grouping up together. 2 flashes of Molotov and a smoke, which will probably be used towards Car. They have the man advantage. They can go for this one. Molotov back towards dark. Not just yet. Carson goes 1 for 1 with Hardzao. It's all down to Nithon stuck. It's planted for him, but can he get by 3? There's one in the smoke. He can't even get by the first. It's Cynic. That's game. That's Gaimin Gladiators taking